Hello and welcome to Online Appliance Tech. Today we're going to work on the GE front load washer that's shown the error code 18. So if you're getting this error code or your machine is not draining, in this video we'll show you how to put this in service mode to test the drain pump, test the power supply from the main control board if you do have a multimeter and feel comfortable, and of course how to replace the drain pump. To place in diagnostic mode, you'll hold the start button down, start pause, and you can turn to the left or right 8 clicks. So as you can see here, I went counterclockwise, 8 clicks, so let go of the start button and we're in diagnostic mode. Pause. If you already have water in the tub, you can skip tests 6 and 7, which push more water in the tub, and just go straight to test 12 to see if the pump activates. So to go through your test, you can just rotate clockwise and press start to activate the test. So test mode 6 actually activates the inlet valve for one of the valves. So this is just an example. So here in this video, I would actually pull up the error codes first and then go to the test for that error. So you'll press the start button to stop the test and just rotate the knob to the next test you would like to test and hit the start button. And basically you'll just go back and forth with the start to activate and deactivate. Since we have water in the tub, now I'm going to show you, just for one more example, we're going to press the start button to stop this test, and we're going to rotate the knob to test 12, and then we'll press the start button and this will activate the drain pump, and at this point all the water will be pumped out of the machine. So let me show you how to replace the drain pump and test it. But don't worry, at the end of the video we'll leave a link to this video. This will show you how to take this machine apart to this point. So to get started, definitely make sure you unplug it. And we're going to test the main control board, the power output and the continuity, to make sure the wires are in check. So we'll just remove this plate, and then also this is the harness we got to get to, but I think it's easier actually to remove the ground wires and just pull the board out. That way you can kind of get into it a little bit better. So just remove these 2 ground wires and the 2 here off the top. At this point you'll slide the board out or press it towards the machine. It'll pop out, and then you can turn it towards its side. This way you can get the harnesses and see exactly what you're looking at. So this is the harness here that sends power to the drain pump. And you also have a service manual here if you want to look into it. It shows you all the error codes and so forth. But I've actually never seen a main control board go out yet due to a bad pump. So if your pump is quiet once you put in test mode 12, or it makes an ugly noise with water in the tub and it's not draining, more than likely it's your drain pump. If you need appliance parts for a repair, Online Appliance Parts Hub offers OEM compatible components for major brands with fast US shipping. Check the description below for the link. You can check this out too if you want a little bit more information. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going to disconnect this harness, and I'm going to do a continuity check with my multimeter to make sure I don't have an open line. Open line is basically a cut wire. So once you remove this, you can put your multimeter to your ohms, and it shouldn't read that open line. So we'll put this in here. I believe it's 2 and 3. I'll put up a diagram here. So you should read like 19 to 20 ohms resistance. It shouldn't be nothing like 40 or 1K, which means 1000 our open line. So as you can see here, I have 19. Sorry, my multimeter is a little shaky. 19.5, which is perfect. So that means we have no open line and so forth. So now I'll show you actually too how to check the power output from the control board, just in case your pump is good. There we go. So like I stated, this is a little extreme, and usually it's just the pump. If I put in test 12 and I have no sound, or I have water in the tub and it doesn't drain out once I put it in test 12, is I would say always a pump. But say if your pump is good and you want to check your power output, this is a good test, or you can do the continuity test here for a open line. So to test for your power, you can actually go ahead and put this back together. And once you get put this back together, I'll show you how to test the power output to make sure your board is sending the signal out to the pump, just in case you run into a bigger problem. Also, to test this power output, you would have to put your display back on in the front and keep your door on. So basically just watch the video at the end and just remove the panel, remove the top, and then put your display panel back on. That way you can put it in diagnostic mode to test your drain pump, or just put it on drain and spin, and then you can test your power output. So let's imagine we have the machine hooked up, the display's on the front, we have it plugged in, so we're going to be careful. So we're going to check our wires here are brown and black, which is I believe 2 and 3. And we should, once we have good prongs, we'll put in there and we'll put our multimeter on voltage. Let's see, you can actually read even continuity here too if you wanted to. But since we're going to check the power supply output, we'll go to AC volts, and then we'll activate 12, and at this point we should get our 120 volts. If we don't get our 120 volts, we have a bad made board, but like I stated, I've not seen that yet. So let's go ahead and put this panel back on, just slide it back into place and install the 2 Phillips screws. So before you remove the drain pump, make sure you remove all the water first. So now we'll remove the harness that gives the drain pump its power. So you can just press the little clip in and wiggle it out. And you can also do a continuity check here. You should get around 19.4, 19.5. So if you get this, the windings for the pump motor is good. However, the pump could still be defective if the propeller is messed up, which is an internal part, or the main board is not sending power to the pump itself. So to remove the pump, you have 2 Phillips screws. You got the little clips here, and you have a Phillips screw in the back over here, which I'll show you here in a moment. So if you have a pair of vice grips, it works out well. This is not my best set. I lost my bigger set, but this will do the trick. So you'll just adjust the vice grips where you can clamp this down, and at that point you'll be able to remove the hose off the pump, as you'll see here. So now having the vice grip locked into place, I can wiggle it back and just let go of the vice grip. My hand's messed up too, so that doesn't help me. And you can try to wiggle this tub to drain pump hose off, but this one's stuck. So I'm gonna wedge my flathead underneath and kind of give it a little air gap, I guess you could call it, to get it off the drain pump. So now I'm going to take my needle nose, press this down, hold it. You can use vice grips again if you like to. I'll just wiggle this top hose off, or twist it off, I would say. Sometimes they can be a pain to get off, so you can actually use a vice grip. It would be easier, but I only have this one set, so you can wiggle it side to side as you pull up, as you have the clamp pressed down also. And if you need this pump, I will leave a link in the description below. And yes, I do get a percentage of each sale, not much, but every little bit helps. So I would appreciate it if you could help this channel grow even more. So let's get back to the video. So you have 2 Phillips screws here, and you can use a hand tool or ratchet. I'm going to try my little side wrench tool, I guess you would call it that. And now let's remove the one on the other side. So basically it's just 2. Here in a moment I'll show you a better angle. So I'm going to use my little ratchet. It's actually a little easier to get in there. So there's the screw. So once removed, you'll just press the pump back. So you have 2 little grooves in the front, press it back and just wiggle it out the machine. Just don't yank no wires on the way out and try not to get cut. So now we'll reinstall the pump just like if it was a new pump. So we'll slide it back into the machine. And the new pump will actually come with 2 new gaskets in the front. You can keep the old ones on and replace them, but that's pretty much the same way. You'll slide it back in. Then you'll install the 2 Phillips screws, one on the left and one on the right. So since you have your vice grip clamped on this hose, it's pretty simple. You can just slide it over the drain pump. You get in here better. And once you slide it over the drain pump, make sure it's all the way to the back of the drain pump, all the way, against it, I guess you would say. And then you'll release the vice grip slow and make sure this is gripped all the way around it and nice and snug. You definitely don't want no leaks, or you don't want to put it back together and have a leaking washer. And it's also good to do a quick check. So get your camera, flashlight, or whatever you got to do to make sure it's definitely sealed well. And next you'll just put your hose back on. You can use your vice grips or these needle nose, whatever you like. But I'm going to use the vice grips this time. This way I can just clamp it down, slide it over the drain pump. This is where the water exits from the drain pump. And then just release the vice grip. Make sure it's on well. Put your harness back on, and then basically put the machine back together. Or here's the video for that. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful, and please like and subscribe for more future tips and videos. Have any questions, just leave in the comments below, and thanks for watching.